Jungkook embodies the concept of aspirational artistry that resonates with global audiences, which American music executives view as a critical driver for shaping trends. Unlike many US-based artists whose visibility is often regionally focused, Jungkook operates in a hyper-globalized ecosystem where his influence is simultaneously immediate and widespread. This shifts the traditional paradigm of market penetration. In previous decades, an international artist required years to cultivate a following in the United States, often relying on translations, collaborations, or extensive touring. Jungkook, by contrast, leverages digital immediacy. His performances, social media interactions, and promotional activities provide a continuous feedback loop where US audiences are not merely passive consumers. They are active participants in his trajectory. This level of engagement significantly reduces the risk for US music executives, positioning him as a viable and profitable focus for the industry. Jungkook's ability to maintain relevance is also indicative of strategic versatility. His performance skills, ranging from precise choreography to nuanced vocal control, align with the American market's appreciation for well-rounded artists. While American audiences historically value individuality and innovation, Jungkook's proficiency across multiple dimensions of performance provides a comprehensive package. This reduces the reliance on external production or marketing narratives, as his talent itself carries the ability to generate sustained attention. Industry analysts note that such versatility is rare among young artists and, when paired with a global following, transforms the individual into a commercial catalyst. Another critical aspect is Jungkook's positioning within BTS, a group that has repeatedly engaged in strategic market expansion. BTS's international tours, English-language releases, and collaborations with American artists create a contextual foundation for Jungkook's individual visibility. However, it is his personal brand that increasingly captures US industry attention. Unlike collective branding strategies that emphasize group identity, Jungkook maintains a distinctive persona that can be marketed independently without diluting BTS's overarching brand. This dual-layered visibility, simultaneously benefiting from group association and personal distinction, places Jungkook in a unique category where his individual actions are significant enough to impact industry trends. Moreover, Jungkook's influence extends into digital content trends that are critical to the US market. Short-form video platforms such as TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts serve as cultural accelerators, allowing snippets of his performances to reach millions of viewers in real time. The virality of his content often results in measurable impacts on streaming charts, playlist inclusions, and search engine traffic. For US industry executives, this data is invaluable. It offers empirical evidence that Jungkook not only captures attention, but also drives measurable consumption behaviors. His ability to trigger these patterns demonstrates a modern understanding of how digital influence translates into economic potential within the music ecosystem. The commercial implications of Jungkook's prominence in the US music industry are multidimensional. Brands and advertisers increasingly view his presence as a conduit to reach a broad demographic, ranging from Gen Z listeners to older fans familiar with K-pop's global emergence. This brand alignment is not incidental. It is the result of careful curation where Jungkook's public image, artistic output, and personal conduct are strategically leveraged to maintain appeal. US executives understand that an artist with consistent brand integrity and global recognition represents a lower risk, higher reward investment. Consequently, Jungkook is positioned as more than a performer. He is a central figure in the market's predictive modeling for audience engagement and revenue generation. Collaborations also play a pivotal role in Jungkook's market impact. Partnerships with international brands, high-profile artists, and media outlets function as multipliers for his visibility. Unlike collaborations that primarily target regional markets, Jungkook's joint ventures are globally coordinated, with a focus on maximizing exposure in the US. This strategy reflects an understanding of transnational influence. By associating with already recognized US or global figures, Jungkook leverages credibility while simultaneously enhancing market penetration. This dual-effect brand reinforcement and audience expansion is particularly appealing to American executives who prioritize measurable returns on collaboration investments. Streaming data further underscores his relevance. Jungkook consistently charts across major US platforms, not just through BTS releases, but also through solo tracks and featured collaborations. His presence on curated playlists, trending charts, and algorithmically recommended content ensures continuous engagement with diverse audience segments. These trends are particularly notable because Jungkook achieves high performance without relying exclusively on English-language tracks. The US music industry has traditionally assumed a correlation between English-language dominance and chart success. Jungkook's performance challenges this assumption, proving that cultural and linguistic diversity can coexist with commercial viability. For analysts, this represents an evolving market dynamic where cross-cultural appeal is increasingly rewarded by streaming algorithms and consumer behavior patterns. Another aspect is Jungkook's alignment with modern content consumption trends. In the US, short-form video platforms such as TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts are increasingly influential in shaping listening habits. Jungkook's performances and curated moments frequently become viral content on these platforms, translating into measurable spikes in streams, downloads, and chart movement. Importantly, this virality is self-reinforcing. As content spreads, it attracts new listeners who may not have prior exposure to BTS or K-pop, thereby expanding Jungkook's demographic reach. For US industry professionals, this effect is significant because it demonstrates that his influence extends beyond established fan bases, offering both cultural and commercial impact. Marketing and public relations strategies are also central to his US prominence. Jungkook's image management is characterized by consistency, precision, and adaptability. He participates in interviews, promotional campaigns, and media appearances that align with both the BTS brand and his individual persona. The strategic balance between group affiliation and personal branding allows Jungkook to maintain visibility without creating conflicts or diluting brand identity. This level of strategic coordination is particularly appealing to US executives who prioritize predictability and brand stability in market planning. The integration of merchandise, endorsements, and public appearances further solidifies his influence. US music executives are acutely aware of the interconnectedness between music consumption and lifestyle branding. Jungkook's association with fashion brands, technological products, and lifestyle campaigns demonstrates his capacity to influence consumer behavior across multiple sectors. These interactions are quantified through engagement metrics, sales tracking, and social media sentiment analysis, providing tangible evidence of his market impact. Unlike conventional marketing, which may rely on isolated campaigns, Jungkook's influence operates continuously, reflecting a sustained capacity to shape market preferences. Beyond commercial metrics, Jungkook's influence impacts industry forecasting and trend-setting. His activities often precede shifts in playlist composition, collaboration choices, and promotional strategies across US music labels. When Jungkook experiments with genre, choreography, or thematic presentation, analysts observe corresponding patterns in US consumption data. This positions him not only as a performer, but as a market influencer whose actions inform strategic decisions for both major and independent labels. Consequently, Jungkook's prominence in the US industry is as much a function of predictive influence as it is of immediate commercial performance. The sustained attention on Jungkook reflects a broader recalibration of US industry priorities. Historically, international artists were peripheral in strategic planning. Now, global relevance is increasingly integrated into market projections. Jungkook exemplifies this paradigm shift. His presence generates quantifiable engagement, influences consumer behavior, and validates the commercial potential of cross-cultural artistry. For American executives, his trajectory is both a case study and a blueprint, illustrating how strategic visibility, diversified collaborations, and digital engagement can transform an international artist into a central focus of domestic industry considerations. Jungkook's influence on the US music industry extends beyond visibility and branding. It is measurable in tangible metrics such as chart performance, streaming statistics, and observable shifts in consumer behavior. In a market where performance data directly informs industry strategy, Jungkook's consistent chart presence demonstrates the economic and cultural significance of his work. Understanding this impact requires examining multiple dimensions: streaming trends, chart dynamics, playlist curation, and digital engagement patterns. Each component contributes to why US executives consider Jungkook a central figure in contemporary music strategy. Chart performance and record-breaking metrics. Jungkook frequently appears on major US charts, including the Billboard Hot 100, Billboard Global 200, and genre-specific listings. This is notable because many international artists struggle to achieve consistent placement without extensive, localized promotion. Jungkook's performance, however, is sustained and data-driven. Chart placements are influenced by a combination of streaming counts, digital downloads, radio airplay, and social engagement areas where Jungkook excels. His ability to chart with tracks primarily performed in Korean highlights a shift in US audience receptivity, signaling that linguistic barriers are increasingly irrelevant in the context of measurable consumption and engagement. For example, streaming data consistently reveals peaks in play counts immediately following public appearances, social media activity, or strategic promotions. These peaks are accompanied by algorithmic reinforcement on platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, where trending tracks gain additional exposure through recommendations and playlist placement. The effect is cumulative. Each spike in engagement not only sustains current visibility, but also attracts new listeners, broadening demographic reach. US industry professionals interpret these metrics as evidence of both immediate consumption and long-term market potential, reinforcing Jungkook's strategic importance. Streaming trends and digital ecosystem influence. Streaming behavior provides one of the clearest indicators of Jungkook's impact. Platforms such as Spotify release weekly and monthly analytics that show listener retention, geographical distribution, and demographic breakdowns. Jungkook consistently ranks among the top-streamed international artists, and these statistics reveal a highly engaged, globally distributed audience with significant US representation. Unlike traditional sales, which often reflect localized performance, streaming metrics capture real-time consumption patterns and facilitate predictive modeling for industry stakeholders. U.S. executives rely on this data to inform decisions ranging from playlist inclusion to collaboration opportunities, licensing agreements, and tour planning. The virality of Jungkook's content, particularly on short-form platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels, further amplifies streaming trends. Clips of performances, rehearsal footage, or behind-the-scenes moments often trigger waves of user-generated content which subsequently drive music consumption. This phenomenon demonstrates a modern feedback loop where digital visibility converts directly into measurable market performance. For example, a viral TikTok featuring a Jungkook performance can result in thousands of streams within hours, impacting not only immediate chart placement, but also longer-term engagement statistics. The cyclical reinforcement between virality and streaming establishes Jungkook as both a cultural influencer and a market driver.